I don't know why I booked that hotel. Maybe it was the eerie charm of its old, Gothic-style architecture, or maybe I was just desperate for a cheap room for the night. I was in New York for work, and all the decent hotels were either booked or outrageously expensive. When I stumbled upon the Hawthorne Inn, a 19th-century building tucked away on a quiet street in Manhattan, I figured it would do for a night. The reviews were mixed, some praising its historic beauty, while others warned of strange occurrences. I shrugged it off. How bad could one night be? As I checked in, the receptionist, an old woman with sunken eyes, gave me a peculiar look. "You're in room 306, she said almost hesitantly. "If you hear anything unusual, just ignore it." I laughed nervously, assuming she was just trying to mess with me. But when I stepped into that dimly lit hallway, lined with faded red carpet and portraits whose eyes seemed to follow me, an uneasy feeling crept over me. Room 306 was nothing special. Dusty furniture, a creaky bed, and an old rotary phone that I doubted even worked. I tossed my suitcase onto the chair and decided to take a quick shower. As the warm water ran down my face, I heard it, a faint knock. 3 slow, deliberate taps. "Housekeeping." I called, but no one answered. Wrapping a towel around myself, I opened the door. The hallway was empty. Brushing it off as my imagination, I turned off the bathroom light and got into bed. Just as I was drifting off, I heard it again, tap, tap, tap. But this time it wasn't coming from the door. It was coming from the closet. My breath hitched as I turned my head toward it. The door was slightly ajar, revealing nothing but pitch darkness. "Hello?" I whispered, but my voice barely left my throat. Suddenly, the old rotary phone on the nightstand rang, its shrill sound piercing through the silence. My heart nearly stopped. Who would be calling at this hour? Hesitantly, I picked up the receiver. At first, there was nothing but static. Then a distorted voice whispered, "Get out." My body went ice cold. I slammed the phone down and rushed to the door, but the knob wouldn't turn. It was jammed. The room felt suffocating, the air thick with something unseen. Then, from the corner of my eye, I saw it, the closet door creaking open inch by inch. A shadowy figure stood inside, its form barely distinguishable from the darkness. I wanted to scream, but my voice was trapped in my throat. The figure began to move, stepping out slowly. My pulse pounded as I scrambled backward onto the bed. Suddenly, the room's lights flickered, and for a brief second I saw its face, pale, hollowed-out eyes, a mouth twisted in an unnatural grin. It whispered again, but this time the words were clearer, "You're in my room." The door to the hallway burst open on its own, and I didn't hesitate. I ran, sprinting down the hallway past those cursed portraits, not stopping until I reached the lobby. The old receptionist wasn't surprised to see me gasping for air. She simply shook her head. "Room 306, she muttered. "He doesn't like visitors." I didn't wait to hear more. I grabbed my things and bolted out of there, running into the streets of New York as the first hints of dawn painted the sky. When I looked back at the building, the lights in room 306 were still flickering. The next morning, curiosity got the best of me. I searched for the hotel's history. What I found made my blood run cold. In 1932, a man named Victor Crane was found dead in that very room, his body locked in the closet for days before anyone noticed. The strangest part? Guests kept reporting seeing his figure, always standing just inside the closet, waiting. That was the last time I ever stayed in an old hotel. And if you ever find yourself at the Hawthorne Inn, do yourself a favor, stay away from room 306.